Right, so hello and welcome to today's talk. And like I said, I'm going to continue my series on Boericke, and towards the end of this, I plan to do a lot of more things also. But I feel it's very essential for us to know very important indications of common remedies. So let's go ahead in today's talk. Let's talk about few more remedies, and please write to me what you want me to talk about, and it matters to me what you guys feel. I really like doing this. I really like sharing my ideas with all of you, wherever you are. And I do it with a lot of love because that's the only thing I know. Okay, so let's come to tartaric acid. Interesting remedy. I don't think many people have used this remedy so often. It's an acid. So the main theme of acid is lot of exhaustion and then weakness. Tartaric acid is found in lot of grapes, pineapple, etc. But what is the main thing I want to talk to you about? The main indication is pain in the heels. Extreme pain in the heels, no other indication. Think about tartaric acid, like phytolacca. Yes, like arsenic alb, there's a lot of thirst, burning. It's a very important remedy for acidity, pain around the umbilical region. But I would give a lot of importance to the idea of lot of like pain in the heels. Let's go to the next remedy, Tella Aranea. This is actually a remedy prepared from spider's web. What are the main things I want to talk to you about this remedy? Two or three things. It's a very important remedy to reduce blood pressure in cases where there is a sudden high BP, okay, very high blood pressure. Along with that, lot of breathlessness, suffocation, sleep apnea syndrome, and sleeplessness. Think about this remedy. So you can see here cardiac sleeplessness. So a lot of heart complications also, and dry coughs. Okay. Finally, lot of periodical disease. So there's a history of malaria, dengue, or some kind of viral infection. Lot of chilliness and numbness of hands and legs when at rest. But would be very important to reduce blood pressure. Is something I would want you to know. Let's go to the next. The remedy tellurium is a remedy I use very often also. Just recently I was seeing one case, very bad case of ear infection, and the main peculiar thing was that the ear infection, there was a lot of dark color fluid that would come out, and the discharge would be like a fish like smell. So that's what I gave. You can see this eczema behind ear, catarrh of middle ear, smell like fish pickle with itching and swelling. This is a very important keynote. So any kind of discharge, this is very important. The other thing that I think you should know is in very bad cases of ringworm, yeah, with a lot of smell from that area, with lot of sweat from the feet, circular type of eczemas also. Offensiveness is a keynote of tellurium, so I would give a lot of importance to tellurium for that. And finally, one more very important thing that I would like to tell you about tellurium is a lot of back pains and lot of sciatica. It's a very important remedy for spine and back and joints. So pain from the last cervical, very sensitive to touch. Sciatica right sided. Slightest cough, slightest something, and there is pain in the cervical spine. Is very important. This indication. I would give a lot of importance to this indication. Yeah. They are very neglectful and forgetful also. It belongs to the fifth row of the periodic table, so there's a lot of creativity in them as well, but they are just below around selenium. So that's the idea where they are now just they just want to give up in life. A lot of twitching in the muscles as well. Fear of being touched in sensitive part, this is also very important. Itching of the scalp. So it's a very important skin remedy, like I told you. One very important thing is there's a lot of slow development of symptoms. It's not a fast, so it's not like you have ringworm in one day only. It's like it took about few months to develop this ringworm. Yeah, this is what I want to talk to you about. Aggravated while at rest, cold weather, very chilly, cough, laughing that I told you, lying on painful side. So this is tellurium. Interesting. All right. Let's go to the next. Terebinth Inna. Interesting remedy. Terebinth Inna. What I want to talk to you about, few things in Terebinth Inna. I think it's exactly opposite to the last remedy we spoke about, tellurium, because Terebinth Inna is a very fast-paced disease, kind of pathology. So in a case where the kidneys have kind of got infected or inflamed, or there's an autoimmune kidney disease, and post that, or glomerular nephritis, and there's a dropsy, and suddenly there is a lot of bleeding from the urine. So there is a lot of bleeding, there's a lot of swelling in the abdomen, there is ascites. This type of pathology you should think about Terebinth Inna. Whenever there is kidney related pathology, kidney or bladder related pathology develop going into a slow coma, think about this as well. Bright's disease preceded by dropsy, think about this. But one of the very important thing I have seen is the tongue. The tongue is dry, red, shining. This is very important of Terebinth Inna. In an acute case, you want to see this tongue before you prescribe. About urine, I think most of it we told you. After any acute disease, inflamed kidney, almost gives you idea of eel serum. There's a lot of sexuality, so there's a lot of painful excretions, pain in the uterine region. It's also very important for metritis and metrorrhagia with burning in the uterus. Like which other remedy? Tell me. Erigeron. Erigeron. Materia Medica is my life, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in love with Materia Medica. In love with repertory. This is what my life is about. If I ever want to say about what is my life about, it's about this. I live in this shit. Alright. So, lot of breathlessness. Again, this is related to the kidney pathology producing the dropsy. Pulse is affected. You can see it's intermittent back pain, burning pain, again related to renal pathology. And finally, in cases of fever with lot of thirst, dry tongue, and stupor, little bit like Eliborus. Chilblains, excessive itching, lot of itching, and this can be again due to the renal pathology also. A little bit I wanted to talk to you about. I think you should compare it with sickle cord. Definitely cantharis and nitric acid is good. Antidote is phosphorus. So now you can understand, what kind of remedy Terebinth Inna is, because it has similar symptoms to phosphorus. Let's go to the next. There are many remedies. Okay. Teucrium marum varum. Cat thyme. So I've used this remedy very often. One of the main things where I've used this remedy is in ingrowing toenail. In toenail growths with a lot of pain, ulcers formulating there with a lot of bleeding, think about this remedy. I've used this remedy. Also, this is a remedy, this indication I learned from my guru Dr. Sarkar, where he uses this remedy where after taking too much of allopathic medicine, there's been too much of reactions like nux vomica. So oversensitive after taking too many remedies, not just allopathy but homeopathy also. Typically, it's a very well-known remedy for nose and catarrh in the nose with polyps and loss of smell, total loss of smell, and especially in children's cases. So you can see large clinkers like elapse, like Kali bitch, crawling, lacrimation, sneezing. Yeah, think about this remedy. A lot of appetite, lot of appetite. The state of mind is also a little bit like calcarea carb. Very fearful, horrible things, sad story affect them too strongly as well. Very excited, it belongs to labiata family, so very, very excited. Strengthened brains after delirium tremens, I spoke to you about this. Lot of twitching, jerking, all remedies from labiata have this twitching, jerking. Lot of infections around the nails, so yeah. This is a little bit about Teucrium marum varum. Teucrium Scorodonia, I have not used this remedy too often, so I can't tell you much about it, except for there is important for tubercular epidemitis. So it's interesting. Let's go to the next. Thallium metallicum. I think it's a very important remedy. There are two things I've used this very often for. One is for neurological problems. What are the neurological problems? The neurological problems is lot of spasmodic shooting pains with muscular atrophy, locomotor ataxia, multiple sclerosis, shocks like sensation, polyneuritis, low motor neuron paralysis, dermal neural lesions. They will say there's a lot of trembling, there is a lot of paralysis of the lower limbs, formication from feet going up, inner thigh to feet, spine related issues, numbness, lancinating pain, paralytic feeling. But the thing that I have used very often also is whenever after any acute illness there's a lot of hair loss, I use this remedy with beautiful results. Thallium, remember the remedy. It has the action to influence endocrine, and that's why I believe it will be very important for hair. It's interesting correlation the way I do it. Thallium belongs to the sixth row of the periodic table, that is like plumbum, like platinum. So there's a lot of ego that is developed. Last remedy for now. It's a very important remedy. Remedy from spider, Theridion. Theridion again is a very important remedy. I've used this remedy a few times. Typically, they are tarantula children, children who are very restless. But the difference between tarantula and Theridion is that tarantula loves music. Tarantula loves music, while Theridion are very sensitive to music. It's as if it penetrates the body. Noises seems to cause a strike to the body. Strong tuberculomism, strong. In fact, history of tuberculosis of the lung, of the spine is very important. Very nice, the first word, nervous hyperesthesia. I think this somehow describes Theridion very well. Very restless. It's written fruitlessly busy. Top remedies Theridion. They're very fast paced. There are two things I've used Theridion in. I had a girl child who I was treating. She used to constantly play with her hair. That was a very strong symptom where she used to get fanatic about playing with hair, and she had features of spider she did were on Theridion. And the other thing is this Theridion have a very typical cough, where when they cough, they kind of just put their feet upward. This is a very famous case of Dr. Sankaran there, where while coughing the feet goes up. Violent cough as if the feet are jerking up and touching the chest like agaricos. It's very important. Craving for a lot of fruits like banana, like oranges, like medorinum. Pain in the upper left chest, there's pain here. Typically you'll think it's cardiac problem, cardiac anxiety, but there's pain here and there's pain in the floating ribs. So remember this. Myrist and also sensitiveness of vertebra, avoids pressure of the spine. This I told you. Vertigo with nausea, vomiting or least. So there's a very important remedy for vertigo. So I believe it's a very important remedy for the vagus nerve. Would be important remedy for tinnitus and Meniere's disease also. Pressure around the eyeballs and throbbing on the left eye. Discharge from the nose. Lot of nausea and vomiting when closing eyes. So for seasickness, like tobacco. I think it would be important for a lot of neurological issues, I believe, in today's time. And yeah, aggravation on touch, pressure, shipboard, coition, worse coition, all Theridion, causticum, Kali remedies, and agaricos, and more left-sided. Interesting. This is Theridion. Little bit thoughts about Theridion. I hope it was an interesting session. Write to me what you think about it, and let's do it together, ladies and gentlemen.